Hey guys, what's up? It's Austin, also known as the Reading Cave here, and today we're going to be talking about Big Brother 19, the brand new cast full of 16 brand new people to stalk over, and I'm so excited about this season. It oddly seems very hopeful, like it actually looks pretty good this time. That really scares me, but I'm hoping that this season will live up to my low expectations at least. So before I dive into each house guest like one-on-one and like talk about them and talk about how much I know about them now because I've searched through all of their history, I just want to say that overall this cast is very, very pleasing. I like the diversity in age. They definitely went for an older cast. I think the average age is like 29 this year when it's usually a lot lower, and that's super cool. There's definitely some star players, there's definitely some people that I could live without, and there's definitely some people that really like weird me out, some people that I can't get a read on. So we're just gonna go through every single person and talk about them just for a little bit, and then we'll recollect at the end for my final thoughts. Like the Maury show, or is that Jerry Springer? I don't know. Okay, so first up is one of my favorites, Christmas Abbott, who's 33 and she's a fitness superstar. So she's like the famous person of the group. She has like 400,000 followers on Instagram. I'm clearly not in the fitness world, so I didn't know anything about her up until now, but she seems so cool, so likable. She reminds me a lot of Shelly from BB17, but like with extra muscle. I love how she listed her favorite house guest as Helen Kim. I don't really know how much of her show she's watched, but I feel like she's definitely approachable. She seems really friendly. She seems sociable enough. She seems really likable, and she's definitely got the muscles and the intellect, I think, to win a few competitions. So unless the house is intimidated by her right off the bat, I think she could definitely do really well. There's like some rumor about her lying about being single and she's actually gonna get married in September. I'm pretty sure she probably just broke up with the guy right before she got in the house, and that page is still up if you guys know what I'm talking about. So I do think she's single. I don't think she's gonna get married anytime soon, if you guys know about that rumor. She's a lot of cool stories. I can totally see why they cast her, and overall I'm super excited to see Christmas. This is kind of an archetype that we haven't seen before, with a really strong fitness woman, you know, who's done a lot of activities in her life. I don't know. But she's definitely like a new archetype, I think, and I'm really excited to see how she does. Okay, so the next person is Matthew Kleins, who's also 33 years old. I don't know much about him. He's a renovation consultant. A lot of people seem to like him on Twitter so far. I found him really boring, but that usually works for people in the Big Brother house. I think he's gonna be another person who's gonna be really likable and friendly, and I think people are gonna find him easy to get along with. I personally didn't attach to him at all, but I do think he's nice enough. He's not bugging me at all yet. I just didn't find anything that was like radiating off of him where I was like, ooh, I'm a big fan. He loves watching panda videos, who doesn't? And he really likes Donnie. You know, he's probably a recruit, but like recruits actually do really well. They make really good TV, so stop hating on recruits. Other than that, he's like a midway point for me. Like this is one that I can't get a good read off of. Like I don't know how he's gonna be in the house. He was just kind of there for me when I watched the interviews, so we'll see how he does. I really don't have an opinion on him. Next is someone that I'm kind of excited about. She's 30 years old and she's a government engineer. She does nuclear engineering, and her name is Dominique Cooper. What I got from her is that she's really religious. She's really intelligent, like super, super smart. You can tell by her job title of being a nuclear engineer for the government. She has this huge vocabulary. I feel like people will find her very intimidating because of that. The only thing I'm worried about with Dominique is I can't remember if she said she'd rather win and be hated or lose and be loved. Oh wait, no, okay. She was the one who said that she would rather win and be loved. She kind of changed the rules with the question. I'm just worried if, because she's so religious, we saw this with Jocasta, if she's not going to be willing to lie as much, if her like moral values are going to interrupt her gameplay. And that's the only thing that worries me just a little bit, but I don't see that from her yet. I feel like she will play the game, and I feel like she'll be a strong competitor. She's definitely someone I'm rooting for. She seems super friendly and super nice, and I definitely see her teaming up with people that we're going to be talking about later. Okay, so the next person is actually the first person in their 20s, believe it or not, and she's 26 and is a radio personality named Elena Davies. I don't know if I said her name right. She does a lot of radio stuff. She's like interviewed Fifth Harmony. She does all this cool stuff. You could technically say she's like also famous like Christmas, but not really. And she just seems super, super likable. She kind of seems like a Meg from UB17. Just super friendly, super funny. She seems like she's gonna bring a lot of humor to the house. But she also seems to have like an okay game plan. Like she seems like she kind of knows what she's doing. Not the biggest fan of her liking James, but that's besides the point. When I was watching her interview, she was definitely one of the few that seemed just super intriguing. Like, she was so interesting. She had a lot of stories, and I'm super excited to see her on the live feeds. I think she'll bring a lot of fun. Do I think she's gonna win? I'm not really sure, but I don't see her going out super early, so we'll have to wait and see for Elena Davies. Okay, so next is Jason Dent, aka Whistle Nut, who's a rodeo clown and is 37 years old. He is hilarious. A lot of people don't like him, but I honestly think he's so funny. As long as he doesn't do something problematic, I'm gonna really enjoy him. He has no idea what he's doing. He's never seen the show before. He's never gonna win the show, but he will be there for the entertainment and he'll be there to spark things up. I think he'll give a lot of funny DRs of him being really stupid, and I'm honestly really here for it. We need someone like that every year, and if he fills up the space, I'm okay with that. He's really funny. Honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if he made like Final 5, because who's gonna want to take out the rodeo clown who doesn't know anything? So I definitely see him going far. I don't see him winning, like 1% chance of him winning, but he seems really entertaining. I can't dock him points for not knowing anything. I mean, he's not gonna win, but he's really fun. Okay, so next is someone that I have really high hopes for. She's 26, a VIP concierge. She knows Liz Nolan from BB17, and her name is Jessica Graff. I have such high hopes for her. She mentioned Janelle. She's seen the show for so many years. She almost qualifies herself as a super fan. She seems to have a lot of like smarts up there. She seems really intelligent. She seems like a physical competitor, and her personality and just everything reminds me a lot of Janelle. I see a lot of potential for her. I definitely don't think she's gonna go home anytime soon. I see a potential winner in her. I really do. I'm gonna be let down, I'm sure, but she seems like she's really in it to win it. She seems like she wants to win this money for her mom, and nothing's gonna stop her. The only thing I'm scared about is her getting into showmance, but fingers crossed that she, you know, keeps it in her head that getting into showmance is bad, and she stays out of it, and she plays her own game by herself. I'm just hoping that that pulls through and that she can pull a win for the people of the Big Brother fandom, because I think everybody likes Jessica at this point, and I hope it continues down that path. So next is Cameron Hurd, who's 24 and is a microbiologist. After so many seasons of a nerd winning, I am a little nerd phobic, but this guy is a little bit different. He's kind of half nerd, half party guy, frat guy. Like, he has a sociable quality to him that the other nerds in the past have not had, but he does seem a little bit cocky at times. I'm worried about him having that negative stigma of nerdiness around him, especially if he's going to wear those glasses, because that makes a big difference. I am worried that he's going to fall in the stereotype of winner and they're going to want to get him out right away, but he does seem a lot more friendlier and a lot more fun than the last few nerd archetypes that we've had. He seems more enjoyable, and so I like that part of him, but I'm not super excited to see him play. I'm not like the biggest fan, but I do think he's nice. We'll see how he does. Okay, so next is Mark Jansen, 26 and is a personal trainer. When I saw his picture, I really thought I was gonna hate him, but as everyone else has said, he really grew on them after watching his 5-minute video interview with Jeff. He seems super friendly, super likable. What he said he was gonna do with the money was so nice. He was gonna like put it towards a charity for single moms, and it's like, you know, that's brownie points already. He seems to know a lot about the game, actually. He listed a lot of like earlier players as his favorite. He seems to know what he's doing. He's very aware of himself, and I think he's gonna get really far if people aren't intimidated by him. But there is a lot of people in this cast to be intimidated by, both intelligence-wise and physicality-wise. So if he can hide under bigger physical threats than him, like maybe Christmas, I think he could make it a lot further. But I see high hopes for him. I don't know if he's gonna win, but I definitely see it as a possibility. Next is Megan Louder, who's 28 and is a professional dog walker representing Arizona. She reminds me a lot of what the Facebook people want. They want like a normal girl who has a normal job, who like seems really normal, and that's what this girl is. But I really like her. She's a big super fan. She knows a lot about the game. Who did she list as her favorite again? She listed Frank Udy as her favorite. I mean, you do you. But, you know, you can look at her YouTube history, because, you know, Big Brother fans stalk her. She watches a bunch of Big Brother podcasts, has been subscribed to a bunch of Big Brother stuff. She has done her history before going into this house, and she knows a lot about the game. That could either overwhelm her and kind of make her play too hard too fast, or it could be a huge benefit how much she knows about the game. We'll have to wait and see. Something really cool about Megan is that she watched a video that was like investigating on a potential Big Brother 19 house guest, and that house guest is actually in the house with her, and so she kind of already knows about one of her house guests, and so I wonder how that's gonna play out, if she's gonna want to work with her now that she knows her before going into the house, and like we'll talk about that person once we get to her. But I really wonder how that's gonna play out. Overall, she seems super likable as well. This cast in general seems really likable, which is kind of scary because the last time I liked to cast this much, I'm pretty sure it didn't go that well. I think it was Big Brother... I don't want to say Big Brother 15, we're never going to bring that season up. Anyways, so this is the youngest one so far. His name is Josh Martinez. He's 23, he does hair care styles. He is one of my favorites, 100%. His interview with Ike Wong from Big Brother Canada was so fun. He seemed so funny. He seemed like he knew what he was doing as well. He seems really strategic. He seems like he's gonna bring the fun and the gameplay, and that's my perfect player, is someone who can be entertaining and also implement that into a strategy, and he seems like he's definitely gonna do that. I am worried about him maybe being a little too energetic for the rest of the house, maybe being too much of a personality to where they want to get him out first week, but I feel like he'll tone it down once he actually enters the house, but he's gonna give us some really good DRs, and he's gonna be a really likable person for us to root for, so I'm hoping he can just like calm himself down when he enters the house, and I think he'll potentially go a long way. So next is Cody Nixon, who's 32 years old. He's a construction sales representative, and this is one of the two people who I do not like from this cast, and I don't like, I get why he's cast. I'm okay with him being cast because he does seem entertaining. He seems like he's gonna cause drama, but just from a personality standpoint, I don't like him. He definitely scared me in the fact that I feel like he might be problematic. He just rubs me the wrong way. I feel like he's gonna cause a lot of controversy for the show. I feel like he's gonna say some really sketchy things, and I don't know why I'm getting that vibe, but he's already kind of offended me, which is funny because one of his fun facts is that he's never been offended before, but even him saying that kind of bugs me. Like, why are you happy that you've never been offended before? Like, why is that like a cool thing? I don't know. His whole like demeanor kind of irritated me. He seemed very mellow, but like in a negative way. He kind of seemed rude. That's a good personality to have in there because it causes entertainment and causes a lot of drama. So I'm really happy that he was cast, but he's just not someone that I'm gonna root for. All of us know about his victim noises thing, and it's only like when a guy does it, and I still don't really understand what it means. It's like when you're hurt, but you're like being over dramatic about it. But it's only like when a 20-year-old guy does it, right? I have no idea. I really, this guy just screams, do not root for him over his head. I just feel like he's gonna do some really sketchy things, and I'm gonna be like, I told y'all. We'll see. I definitely don't think we're gonna like him, but I don't know, we might love to hate him, and that might be an interesting thing. Speaking of victim noises, we have Alex Ow. Get it? It's a victim noise because she's saying ow, but okay. Anyways, Alex Ow is 28. She's an eco-friendly marketing representative. She's also like a representative marketing person. That's interesting. I mean, listen, she's not gonna win the show. Even she said she wants to lose so she can be brought back for another season, so I'm not really insulting her here. She is definitely a personality. I'm worried about her going home pre-jury because people can't handle her. I'm really worried about how she's gonna be perceived in the house by the other house guests. She seems really entertaining. She seems like a lot of fun, but she's not going to do well in the game. She's definitely going to be dragged. I don't see her having some master plan. I definitely don't see her being a Dan Giesling, but she could be a lot of fun as well in the DR. She could be a lot of fun on the live feeds. I get why she was cast. She's going to bring a lot of like humorousness and like, I don't know what I'm doing, and that's good to have on the show. Her two favorites from last season are my two like least favorites, Nicole and James, so I don't know like what she's doing. I don't even know if she's like even processing that she's here. She didn't even know who Jeff was. She's just a little bit of a mess when it comes to Big Brother, but she does seem really likable, and I'm not like totally there. Like, I'm not a fan of her yet, but she's on the border. Like, I'm about to be a fan of her probably when the premiere hits, so we'll see. Next is the other person that I didn't like from this cast, and that's Jillian Parker, who's 24. She's a timeshare sales representative. She's also a representative. What is up with this? Okay, anyways, she's from Las Vegas, which is like interesting. I was not a fan of her. She was so boring. Like, I could not sit through her interview. She said nothing fun. She said nothing entertaining. She just talked like this. She was really monotone. I just wonder why she was cast. I almost feel like she was cast only because she's like a Trump supporter. Like, I feel like maybe she's only cast to cause political debate in the House. Like, that's really the only reason why I see why she was cast. I don't see her doing anything groundbreaking. I don't see her making any good TV, really. This is the only person from the cast that's kind of a disappointment. I don't see her doing anything good for the show. I don't know why she was picked. I don't know why casting like decided to send her through the process. I would have rather had Jackie's best friend on the show, but I could be totally wrong. She could be like the best person ever. She'll totally change the name of the game. I have no idea, but this is just first impressions. Next is one of my faves. This is Kevin Schlehuber. Got it. He's 55 from Boston and he's a stay-at-home dad. This guy reminds me a lot of Karen from Big Brother Canada 5. He's giving me runny tease, giving me that old person, senile, really funny tease. He is really likable. He has a lot of stories to share. He's gonna be super funny on the live feeds. I'm obviously worried about the old person curse. He's still so separated by his age by all of the rest of the cast. I don't know if he's gonna do well. He's gonna be an outcast for sure, probably. And so that worries me. I definitely don't see him winning the game. I don't think he has the strategic aspect to win. I don't think he knows enough about the game to win. But he's definitely gonna be a likable character. I really think the old ladies on Facebook are gonna love him. I think Twitter is gonna love him. I think he'll definitely get some help from America. I think he's just one of those guys that seems so likable. I watched his YouTube channel with his daughters reacting to K-pop and he's so funny. He has the best commentary. I can't wait to see him in the House. I can't wait to see what he does, and I think he's gonna outshine Joey Rodriguez. I don't think he's gonna be as much of a flop as him. He doesn't come across as creepy. I think he's gonna do really well. Next is Ramsey Soto, who my dad said is like exactly my personality, but I don't see it at all. Okay, we have glasses, that's about it. But he's 21 and he's a cosplay artist, so he's like really cool and hip. He like dresses up as characters and stuff, which is like so cool. He's super bubbly, super like quirky, like fun, like woo, and he's a big super fan. I've seen him on Twitter before. Okay, this is like really sad. I feel like I don't know if this is true, but I definitely feel like he's followed me before and I like didn't follow him back and so he unfollowed me. Like, I swear I've seen his Twitter before. Like, looking at it now, I definitely feel like I've seen it before and he like followed me and I didn't follow back, so I kind of feel bad. But if he wants to follow me after this season, he totally can. So his favorite is Dan Giesling. Dan Giesling is definitely one of my favorites as well. Him and Daniel Reyes are like up there. Two of my faves ever. So he seems really likable. He seems like he'll get along well with a lot of the house. I think him and Raven, who we're about to talk about, are gonna be besties. I see those two as like a really fun duo. They're about the same age and they just seem to have very similar personalities. They're both super like positive, optimistic people. And I don't know, I see them clicking really well. I like his sense of strategy. I like his plan of what he's gonna do when he goes in. He seems very, you know, intellectual. He could even get along with Dominique or like Cameron. I'm just worried about him also being overwhelmed like a few other people. He's such a super fan and he's so excited to go in there. I feel like he might overthink his strategy and might play too hard too fast. Kind of like Megan maybe, and so that kind of scares me about Ramsey's. The good thing about him is that he has Cameron kind of as a shield, because I think if Cameron wasn't in this cast, he'd be the nerd archetype, and so people might want to go after him first, but because Cameron's there, it's kind of like a blocker, like you have to go through this nerd first before you go for me. I think he's gonna do really well. I don't know if he's gonna win, but I do like him a lot so far and I see a lot of potential. And last but not least is my favorite house guest this season so far. I created a group chat for her even. It's the hashtag Pace Your Power fan club. If you guys want an invite, just message me on Twitter. I'll totally invite you. But this is Raven Walton. She's 23 and she's a dance teacher. This is the person that Megan YouTubed, and so Megan already knows about Raven. Raven doesn't know about her, but she was leaked early, so I was kind of worried about if they were gonna continue with putting her in the cast or not. I was worried that we ruined her chances, but she's still here and she has such a cool story. She almost almost lost her life. She was on the brink of death, and then she survived with this disease, and now she has a pacemaker. It's like, you guys, who wants to evict the girl with the pacemaker pre-jury? Like, let's not do that. She doesn't come across as a threat at all. I think that's gonna get her really far, but she does seem to have a sense of strategy. She's watched this show for so many years now. I think she's gonna do really well. A lot of people were saying that she doesn't have a strategy, but I see her kind of being like an actual player. Like, I see her making moves. I definitely don't think she is gonna be like a groundbreaking player, but I do see her, you know, potentially squirming her way to the end. I see her kind of sliding through, very unintimidating, very bubbly, very, oh, I'm just here. But I definitely see her actually playing the game, and I think that those two things combined, like actually playing the game but coming across as a floater, is kind of deadly because it can get someone really, really far. And who knows, she could be a total mastermind manipulator. She could totally be the puppet master. I can even see that too. I just don't know what to expect from her game-wise, but I think personality-wise, she is one of my favorites. She just seems so positive and full of life, and I just really appreciate that. The live feed people are not gonna like her because they're very negative people, but those old people on Facebook, I think, might be annoyed by her also, actually. I'm probably one of the only people that are gonna like be her #1 fan, but I really, really like her. She is just so like sunshine, and like, I'm here for it. Hashtag Pacer Power. Okay, so that was the whole cast. I'm just gonna talk about the house and like the twist, so we can just go over that real quick. The house is supposed to be Temptation themed, but it's like Apple themed instead, to be honest. I actually really like the house though. I would say it's better than a majority of the houses that we've had for Big Brother US. It's probably not as nice as the spaceship for Big Brother Canada, but it's definitely up there. It looks a lot better than the last few seasons. I really like that huge apple tree that's like right in front of the eviction doors. I think that's super cool. I really like the living room. The bathroom is the best room in the house this year. The HOH room is also really cool. It's like gold. There's like gold bars, and there's like these locker rooms, and it's just like, it's emerald green mixed with gold mixed with ivory, and it makes the coolest color combination. I love it. The bedrooms could be a little bit better. Like, I'm a bigger fan of like brighter colors, and the color theme in those rooms seems really dark. Not like, probably the bedrooms are my least favorite of the house, but I still really like them. Probably though, I like the dad's office room more than the Rose's room, but I like both of them. There's not a room that I don't like, I don't think. I think one of my other favorite rooms is definitely the green apple wall, the little hangout room with the little slide couch, if that's what you want to call it. That's really cool. I really like the bright blue and green combination. And for the twist, it's a lot like Pandora's Box, which I tweeted was my favorite twist that Big Brother has ever done. I'm still not sure if like I agree with my past self. I really like Pandora's Box, but I feel like I like the twin twist just a little bit more. Like, that was a really cool twist. I also really like the twist of them bringing like people that they knew into the house, like with June and her ex. Like, that was a really cool twist as well. But Pandora's Box is definitely up there, and this twist that goes on every week is definitely very similar to it. The only difference is that America votes for who gets these Pandora Box type situations. I don't have an opinion on this twist yet because I don't know the extent to which it's gonna like affect the game, because the Pandora's Box every week could be something so like minuscule. It could be like, vote for who you want to have a have-not pass for the rest of the year, but if they take it, this person has to be a have-not for the rest of the year. So it's like, it could be something silly like that, or it could be super detrimental to people's games, and I'm a little worried about that aspect. I'm really scared that they're gonna push the envelope too far and it's gonna affect the game way too much and have way too much America's influence. So I'm hoping they keep the influence of America and of this twist to a minimum. You know, they don't make it super weak like a have-not pass, but they make it like, oh, you're safe for the week, but you have to be sequestered for like 48 hours or something, you know what I mean? Something like that I would be okay with, but I mean, nothing like, I don't want a diamond POV and like crazy stuff where you can take 2 nominees off and then put 2 nominees up and it's eviction time. Like, I don't want any of that. That reminds me too much of Big Brother Canada 3, and I'm getting bad flashbacks. So it's gonna really depend on how they pull it off, how they do it. And so I am excited. I'm not disappointed by the cast, the house, or the twist. I'm like shocked. I feel like something has to go wrong. As for my favorite house guests, trying to remember off the top of my head. My favorite is definitely Raven Walton. Hashtag Pace Your Power, but I also like Jessica, I like Elena, I really like Christmas. I love Josh, Kevin, is there anyone else? Ramses. I think the people that I named are all my favorite, I think. We'll go with that. I probably missed some people, probably added some people on accident. Okay, anyways, my two least favorites are Cody and Jillian. Crossing them out for now until they redeem themselves. Their interviews really turned me off, so we'll see how they do. As for potential winner, I'm gonna go off a huge limb and say I see Raven winning. I don't know why. I just, as soon as I saw her cast picture, I'm like, she's gonna win the show. You guys are probably yelling at me right now, calling me so dumb. But for some reason, I really see Raven pulling a win. I have no idea why. Other potential winners, I see Jessica potentially winning. I see maybe even Josh winning. Megan, maybe Mark. Christmas, I have no idea. This cast is really like all across the board really likable, unpredictable. I have no idea how this cast is gonna like work or who's gonna go home first. I think it's like totally like this is the hardest cast to rank because they're all so equal for me. Like I don't hate any of them and it's like weird. Who I think is gonna get first boot though? That's a really good question. See, for me, I think Christmas is like she either goes really early or she goes really far. I don't see like a super in between type thing. I think that if they're intimidated by Christmas, they're gonna get her out the first week, so that scares me. I also think Cameron, with his negative stigma being like a nerd archetype, I think could be in trouble for the first week because like they could use that against him. I also think Alex could be in trouble for the first boot because she has such a big personality. And then I would also say Kevin just because of the old person curse type thing. For showmances, I have no idea. So I don't know. I don't see a lot of them being in a showmance. I think Mark could definitely attach to someone. I would say Jessica, but I'm really hoping that Jessica isn't in a showmance, so I'm not gonna pair her up with anybody. Showmances, I really don't know. I mean, listen, Mark could totally hit it off with like Dominique or like Raven. I have no idea. So we'll definitely have to find out and see. And yeah, so 92 days of Big Brother are coming up, and then we have Big Brother Over the Top. So we have a lot of Big Brother to look forward to this next upcoming like 5 months. I'm so excited. I can't wait to talk to you guys about it. If you want to talk to me about it, follow me on Twitter at Austin Ashburn. Link is in below. I talk to anyone who wants to talk to me about the show. I'm obsessed. I love talking about it. I love talking in general. So if you want to talk to me about it, definitely talk to me on there. And other than that, I think this was my cast assessment, and I hope you guys agree with me. I hope you guys don't come back to this video after I'm completely wrong about everyone, and like my favorite person is like a racist, and like my least favorite person wins the show, and like da 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 da. So don't come at me, okay? But other than that, I really enjoyed talking to you guys like through a camera, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. This is indie books that you should watch out for.